At 30,000 feet, this captain actually secretly poured an entire bottle of vodka into his juice, and not one of the 100+ passengers on board noticed. Then he chugged the whole drink and headed back to the cockpit. After handing control over to the first officer, the man casually put on an eye mask and went straight to sleep. That outrageous move completely stunned the newly assigned co-pilot, but luckily nothing went wrong during the entire cruise. Before long, the flight reached the skies above its destination, but just as the first officer began the landing procedure, the elevator controls suddenly failed. The violent shaking caught the passengers completely off guard, and the inexperienced co-pilot instantly froze. Luckily, the captain woke up looking calm as ever. First, he told the lead flight attendant to have everyone fasten their seatbelts, but just as he was about to take over, the plane suddenly dropped straight toward the ground.
Power back! Power back!
The captain immediately radioed the ground. At the same time, he quickly dropped the landing gear. Then he dumped fuel to try to slow the aircraft down, but the speed of that vertical dive was terrifying, and the whole plane was still plummeting like it was completely out of control.
Oh Lord, we're coming out of 7,000! I see nothing but houses!
By then, the buildings on the ground were already crystal clear, and right below them was a densely packed residential area. With all his training, the captain knew one thing for sure. Even if he had to crash land, he could never go down into a crowd. So then he made an incredibly bold move. With one hard turn of the controls, he slowly rolled the plane upside down.
Lord Jesus!
No one could have imagined that the captain was about to fly the plane inverted, and the cabin instantly erupted in screams and panic. Everyone was convinced they were about to die, but the captain stayed solid as a rock. Under his command and control, the passenger jet not only completed the full roll, it actually stopped the deadly descent. Even the people looking up from the ground were left speechless.
Shit!
But even then, the danger was far from over, because although the plane had stopped diving, the remaining fuel was nowhere near enough to reach the airport. So the captain had no choice but to request an emergency landing on the nearest open ground. After getting clearance, he leveled the aircraft again, but right then, the power completely gave out, and directly ahead stood a church. Below it, a crowd was gathered for a ceremony, so to avoid crashing into them, the captain yanked the plane away at the last second, but one wing still clipped the church steeple. In the end, the whole plane slammed into a grassy slope. The brutal impact knocked everyone unconscious on the spot. By the time the captain barely came to, the rescue crews had already arrived. The aircraft had split clean in two, and the tail section was still burning. Luckily, the captain had dumped the fuel in advance, or it would have exploded. There were a total of 102 passengers and crew on board, and 96 of them survived. The captain's desperate save was nothing short of an aviation miracle. The media rushed to cover it, and overnight, he became a national hero. But just a few days later, the accident report came out. It confirmed that the crash was caused by a mechanical failure. But then the lawyer told the captain that alcohol had been found in his blood sample, and the level was shockingly high. If the deaths of the 6 victims were ruled to be caused by the captain flying drunk, then the rest of his life would be spent behind bars. So in the end, how would this captain deal with what came next?